5:42 a.m. Gulf of Aden. A distress call cuts through the static. This is merchant vessel Arleigh. Multiple fast skiffs approaching. 28 knots, bearing 221, closing fast. 14 nautical miles away, a U.S. Navy destroyer receives the transmission. The bridge falls silent for half a second. Then, everything moves at once. Combat, bridge, mark the position. Helm, come to 085. The destroyer's bow turns sharply, slicing through the humid dawn. On the radar, several small blips appear, darting toward the merchant vessel. The crew doesn't need a second look. They've seen this pattern before. The Gulf of Aden's morning haze glows orange, reflecting off the water like fire. Through binoculars, faint wakes streak the surface. 4, maybe 5 skiffs, tiny white arrows cutting across the sea at 30 knots. Each one carries 6 to 8 men, faces hidden under scarves, AKs slung tight. Skiffs in half-circle formation, the radio operator calls. CPA less than 2 miles if they hold course. Copy. Maintain radio watch on Channel 16. The destroyer's engines hum deeper. In the Combat Information Center, watchstanders track bearings and speeds. The merchant ship Arleigh is moving at just 12 knots, too slow to outrun anyone. The Navy destroyer isn't there to hunt. It's part of a convoy escort rotation, patrolling the internationally recognized transit corridor, or the IRTC. Now, that quiet patrol has just turned into a rescue. Over Channel 16, the radio bursts again. They're closing fast. We see weapons. The Navy bridge officer stays calm. Merchant vessel Arleigh, this is the United States Navy warship. Hold course. We are inbound. The skiffs fan out across the sea. 5 small boats racing side by side, their Yamaha engines screaming against the chop. Each hull bounces violently off the swell, throwing up white spray that glitters under the rising sun. These aren't random fishermen. This is a practiced formation, a half-moon intercept designed to box their target in. The Arleigh's bridge crew can see them now. Small, dark figures standing upright. One man holding a ladder, another a grappling hook. Someone raises what looks like an old PKM machine gun, but no one fires yet. These pirates don't want to fight. They want the cargo. The ship's master keeps his voice steady as he transmits again. Fast craft now within 3 nautical miles, bearing 215. We are maintaining speed 12 knots. In the destroyer's Combat Information Center, the distance counter ticks down. The operators know the pirates' tactics by heart. Close fast, intimidate, force the merchant to slow or stop. Estimate skiff speed 31 knots, one of the sailors reports. At that rate, they'll reach visual range in under 6 minutes. Through the destroyer's mast-mounted optics, the scene becomes clear. 5 skiffs in a staggered line, each leaving a wake shaped like a claw mark. The coordination is tight. Too tight for coincidence. The lead boat carries a long aluminum ladder, strapped across the bow, the universal sign of intent. The destroyer's radar paints the picture in crisp detail. Every skiff marked with a steady green track. Bridge watchstanders don headsets. The officer of the deck glances at the screen, then at the horizon. Combat, bridge. Will cross within 10 nautical miles of the merchant in 4 minutes. Notify air detachment. Outside, the sea vibrates with the low rumble of turbines spooling higher. The ship's bow wave steepens as the engines push past 20 knots. Meanwhile, the skiffs adjust their course again, pivoting slightly to intercept both the Arleigh and whatever is coming toward them. For the first time, the pirates hesitate. They've spotted something big on the horizon, a gray shape against the morning glare. They just don't know yet that it's about to change their plans completely. Set Condition 3 throughout the ship. The call echoes through the destroyer's passageways. Firm, calm, professional. Condition 3 means that every combat station is manned. All systems are ready, but the weapons remain cold. The crew snaps into motion, not with panic but with precision. This isn't their first close call. The destroyer, an Arleigh Burke class destroyer, pushes to 24 knots. Spray bursts over the bow as it cuts through the swell, radar dishes turning in unison. The bridge team keeps eye on the horizon while the CIC updates the tactical plot. The Arleigh dead ahead, 5 pirate skiffs closing fast. Channel 16 transmission ready, the communications officer says. The commanding officer nods. Send it. Over the open radio, Unidentified vessels bearing 215. This is United States Navy warship. You are approaching a protected merchant vessel inside the IRTC. Alter course immediately. No response. The destroyer's bridge holds the line. Firm, not aggressive. The message isn't a threat, it's a warning. Bridge, air detachment reports Seahawk ready for launch. Comes the call over the net. Launch the bird. The MH-60R Seahawk helicopter lifts off from the flight deck, rotors chopping through the heavy air. It banks hard towards the threat vector, its nose-mounted camera already transmitting live infrared video back to the CIC. The aircraft climbs to 600 feet, then starts a wide orbit above the merchant vessel. Skiffs now within 4 nautical miles, the aircrew radios. Visual confirmation, 5 boats, armed personnel aboard, no national markings. The commanding officer studies the feed. The Seahawk's camera shows the skiffs head-on. Outboard motors, makeshift weapons, ladders tied across the hull. The pirates are now between the destroyer and the merchant ship, boxed in without even realizing it. Deploy RHIB teams to standby, the CO orders. 2 rigid-hulled inflatable boats are lowered into the water but remain alongside. Visible, deliberate, controlled. The Navy's shore force is clear, yet restrained. Unidentified vessels, you are ordered to disengage immediately. This area is under U.S. Navy protection. From above, the Seahawk circles, its searchlight sweeping across the sea like a blade of white fire. The skiffs keep coming, but slower now. Out here, presence is power. For a few quiet years, piracy seemed to fade from the headlines. But in 2024-25, it's back. Not in the movies, but in the same old waters off Puntland and around Socotra. The reasons aren't mysterious. Western navies have shifted focus towards the Red Sea and the Houthi threat, leaving fewer escort missions in the Gulf of Aden. EU NAVFOR patrols have thinned out and the merchant traffic has slowed. Ships running independently, burning less fuel and presenting easier targets. Modern pirates don't need warships or radar. They rely on open water, small, fast skiffs, and desperation. Many come from coastal villages in Somalia, where fishing has collapsed. Some are opportunists, others organized by criminal networks with motherships waiting hundreds of miles offshore. U.S. Navy doctrine hasn't changed. They don't hunt pirates, they respond to distress calls. Their mission is deterrence, not destruction. Which means, right now, in the middle of the IRTC, that destroyer's presence is the thin gray line between order and chaos. The Seahawk circles once more, the spotlight carving a white arc over the waves. Down below, the pirate skiffs keep closing, 2.9 nautical miles, then 2.4. Their formation tightens, engines roaring as they surge toward the merchant vessel. Inside the destroyer's combat information center, the tension sharpens. Every console hums, every operator is focused. The CO leans over the tactical screen. Maintain weapons hold, he says quietly. We deter, not engage. Skiffs now within 2 miles, the Seahawk pilot reports. They're splitting, 3 towards the merchant, 2 turning broadside. The destroyer's loudspeaker booms across the sea. Unidentified vessels, you are approaching a U.S. Navy protected corridor. Stop engines and turn away immediately. Still no response. The bridge crew watches as the first water cannon bursts erupt from the destroyer's deck. Thick columns of seawater arcing across the surface, exploding in white fans. It's not a weapon, but it sends a message loud and clear. The spray hits the water just ahead of the leading skiff, drenching the men on board. The pirates falter. One boat throttles down. Another turns slightly, uncertain. The Seahawk drops lower, just 200 feet above the surface. The pilot keys the radio. Unknown vessels, you are being monitored by a U.S. Navy aircraft. Disengage immediately. From the destroyer's bridge, the scene looks almost cinematic. The black silhouettes of the skiffs against a fiery orange sunrise, spray catching the light, rotors chopping the air. But no one on board the Navy ship mistakes it for a spectacle. Every move is measured, every decision is weighed. Distance now 1.8 nautical miles, the CIC officer calls. Recommend maintain current posture. The CO nods. Keep the guns trained, safety's on. The ship's forward 25mm mount quietly slews toward the contact. Its red targeting laser off, but ready. Nobody wants to use it. Everyone hopes they won't have to. Then, something changes. The lead skiff slows abruptly. Another boat swings wide. Through the Seahawk's IR feed, the heat signatures scatter. Confusion. The radio crackles again from the aircrew. Skiffs altering course, bearing southeast. Speed dropping, looks like they're breaking off. On the bridge, a single breath escapes. Controlled relief. No shots fired, no injuries, just the overwhelming presence of steel, discipline, and restraint. The pirates fade into the haze, their wakes dissolving into the morning sea. The horizon calms again, the chaos dissolving into quiet blue. The Arleigh maintains her course, her crew is still gripping the rails, eyes fixed on the retreating wakes. No one cheers, but the relief is palpable. A silent gratitude carried on the warm, salty air. On board the destroyer, the call comes down. Set condition 4. Stations begin to stand down, but the crew stays alert. The Seahawk banks wide, making one last pass before heading back to the flight deck. Its engines fade into a distant hum as the ship's crew watches the skiffs vanish into the glare of the sun. The bridge team reviews every step: distance, timing, radio calls, deterrence. Everything by the book. The commanding officer doesn't raise his voice or make a speech. He just says quietly, "Good work. That's how we win," by not giving them the fight they want. In the Combat Information Center, the feed rewinds and plays the final moments. A reminder, even small decisions, when to speak, when to hold fire, carry the weight of international law and lives at sea. The destroyer keeps her speed at 20 knots, resuming patrol through the IRTC. The crew settles back into the rhythm of the mission, scanning, logging, waiting. The sea looks peaceful again, but everyone on board knows better. Out here, calm is temporary. No shots, no glory, just a convoy that keeps moving and a sea that stays open. The Gulf of Aden is calm again. The destroyer moves on, turbines humming, horizon clean. But for the crew, that calm feels different now. Earned, not given. Sometimes the hardest fight is the one you never start. No struts, no chase, just presence, discipline, and the kind of silence that says everything. So let me ask you now. If you were the commanding officer that morning, would you have escalated, or would you have held the line? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this breakdown of how the U.S. Navy handles real-world piracy, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next mission. And if you want to go a step further and support the channel directly, please join the fleet. You'll get loyalty badges, priority responses, and you'll help us bring more true maritime stories to the surface. Out here, victory doesn't roar. Sometimes it just keeps the coffee warm. I'll see you in the next one.